Welcome to the Bruins Benders Podcast, Season 4, Episode 29 with Maddie and Smitty, brought to you on the Inside the Rink Podcast Network and InsideTheRink.com. In this episode, we will discuss Cam Neely getting defensive over drafting. Don Sweeney wants a coach who can evolve a bit offensively, and Charlie Jacobs says that they will not roll back the ticket increase. How obtuse is he? All that and more coming up on this episode. Hit subscribe on the Inside the Rinks YouTube channel. And follow us on social media, Bruins Benders. Use this QR code on your screen to purchase event tickets through Ticketmaster. All concerts and all sorts of things on there. And then the ITR Plus for our subscription service. Bruins Benders Off-Air Show. There's already an episode on there. There'll be a second one on there as well. So hop in for a short money monthly and see us off-air. Yeah. So do that. So how about this press conference, end of year press conference, Neely, Sweeney, Charlie Jacobs, and boy, it was even more arrogant than I thought it would be. It was really kind of almost had this feel of, fans and media should feel like they owe us something for all the good years they had, or something to that effect. I don't know what it was. It just seemed as though extra ego and extra defensiveness.
It was antagonistic. It seemed like they were like trying to pick a fight almost.
Yeah, like Kevin Paul DuPont. He was trying to pick a fight with him. Like
he's asking legitimate questions.
Yes,
questions that if I was there, I certainly would have asked. Like Kevin DuPont held them to
finally somebody
finally asked the questions that needed to be asked. Mm-hmm. What your drafting's been bad. Well, what do you mean our drafting's been bad? Give me an example of bad drafting. Like, do you really want to go through the list? I mean, do you really want to do it? Are you really asking people to dig? Because we had some people after that dug, and we'll get into it because it's not fucking good at all.
No, it's not. It's not good.
It isn't. So you can sugarcoat it all you want. You can say that Don did a great job in 2015 after he rode in on a white horse where he wasn't already a part of the organization. I mean, he was there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I thought that whole thing
prepared, and he wasn't. He was there already. He just wasn't the prime decision maker. He was still fucking in the room. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean, it didn't make any sense. And he's just antagonistic, and Sweens is fucking doing his Sweens, Harvard fucking double talk bullshit. Yeah. And then Charlie Jacob comes out after a 9% increase the year before is another 4%. And then he can't even fumble over his fucking words enough to give an absolute true definition of what actually happened and why they're actually doing it. To give the ushers more money? I don't think that's what it is, buddy.
My dad's an usher. I can assure you it wasn't that.
Yeah, trying to sell more jumbo fucking meatballs is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so shut the fuck up. Like they all should have just shut the fuck up. Like after Kevin DuPont asked the question and Neely was like, "Oh, can you give me an example?" Kevin DuPont should have just said, "Shut the fuck up." Like what?
Yeah, I know he should have.
Like what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he should have.
Really?
He should have. Because if you look, and we have the stats that were sent out on X, like 3rd through 7 rounds. Like, see, the whole we haven't picked high enough thing. There's some merit to it, but it's overdone. There's so many other picks you could have made where you could have found a guy and developed them to have some sort of role, but they have like next to nothing to show for their drafting. Like next to nothing. Like there are years where there's nobody there. Or there's one guy. Like, so look, they made all those picks, and yes, they're down the list and all that. I get it. But that doesn't mean that you can just fail on all of them. Like that doesn't mean that. Tampa like Braden Point's a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tampa Bay found Braden Point in the 3rd round.
Like Kaprizov's a 5th round pick that you had.
You had him. You had him. You just didn't care enough to to develop the guy.
Yeah.
You don't like Russians for whatever reason.
You don't like Canadians or like Russians. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't like anybody from Woburn. Yeah. I mean, really.
But the whole, you're right about the whole Sweeney was kind of thrown into it in May. He was the assistant GM. You can't You mean to tell me as an assistant GM, he didn't look at the prospect list?
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. If you feel like you're unprepared, why do you reach for Zach Senyshyn, who is on nobody's board? Like, if you feel you're unprepared for something, wouldn't you go to the list like you've been saying and just say, okay, I'm just picking the next 3 guys on the list because at least that's my answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least that's it. Like, I picked the next 3 guys on the list because I have my head so far up my ass.
Yeah.
And I was the assistant GM and now I'm the GM. And I was so taken aback by it that I just picked the next 3 guys.
Yeah.
That would be a legitimate answer.
It would be. No one could question him if he just picked the next guy on the list. He would just say, oh, if those guys were busts, like he could just say, look, I went with the next best available guy according to Central Scouting and according to our scouting department. That's all he needed to say. And he would have been fine. In fact, he would have ended up with 2 fucking all-stars instead of the bag of crap that he ended up with.
Right. So if my follow-up question would be, okay, you're not prepared. You were thrown in there. Whatever. We'll take it. Okay. Why, Donnie, did you take Zach Senyshyn so far down the list? If you're that unprepared, then how are you prepared to take Senyshyn?
Yeah.
Like you're saying to me, you haven't really looked at you don't really know. But you knew enough to thought that you were the smartest guy in the room to take Senyshyn.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a great question, and it doesn't make any sense. But have these guys ever made any sense? And the answer is no.
They just talk circles around. That's all.
Yeah, they have.
Just speak. And then Neely comes on. It's funny. Sweeney and Neely are so different in that. Sweeney comes in with his Harvard approach and everything and twists everything smartly. And Neely would just come in like a firecracker and be like, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just so funny.
He still has like the power forward in him. Like he wanted to take Kevin Paul DuPont back to his office and beat the shit out of him.
He did.
He was like, after the press conference, he's like, come back to my office. I want to ask you a couple of questions personally. Lock the door behind you, by the way.
I'll tell you. I applaud Kevin.
I'm just gonna slide on my brass knuckles. Don't worry about it. Like you'll be fine.
I applaud Kevin for doing it because not enough people do it. And he just came out and said, hey, I'm not gonna risk losing my job. I've been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with you guys? And I applaud him for doing that. Not enough of the younger guys do that. No. And I get partially why, but Jesus, like nobody asks them things like this. And then when they finally do, he gets all defensive.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when you get defensive? There's some truth to it. I mean, people don't get defensive when they're called on something unless there's some truth to it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's it. All right. 7 Chirps is sponsored by Lobster Brewing. Lobster Brewing and Tasting Room in downtown Woonsocket, Rhode Island, specializing in small batch ales and lagers, open 7 days a week. Use the coupon code SPORTS to get 10% off your online order. Go to lobsterbrewing.com and follow them at Lobster Brewing for new beers and events. Chirp number 1, Cam Neely does get defensive over the drafting. Now, here's the thing. If they don't think that there's a real problem in it, then that just makes me more concerned about this draft here because now they've gotten in position to get a couple of pretty good players in the top of the first and the top of the second. Like they're in good shape here. Like this makes me even more concerned that they don't have a clue and they don't see it's a problem.
Yeah, that worries me. That worries the hell out of me. If they don't think the drafting's been an issue, everybody misses on picks, that whole thing. Yeah, that's a huge worry. And I've said it all along. I don't want these guys in charge of the rebuild. I don't think they can do it. I think Cam Neely is, angry and has his head up his ass. And Don Sweeney just is double talking Harvard man that doesn't really have a plan for the roster. So I think you're kind of screwed with it. And I don't want them in charge of it, but I think they're going to be. It certainly looks that way. Sweeney's going to get at least 1 more year, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think you have to be worried. I think you have to be nervous about these guys making any kind of picks in the draft because they've been so god awful at the thing.
Yeah,
really.
They have been. And if you think that, well, it's a crapshoot, which I mean, it kind of is. We get it. But if Neely says things like, "Well, we picked so far down the draft," it almost feels like, do they even try later in the draft, or do they just try to do things that they just try to reach or do? I mean, do they put enough effort into the later part of the draft? That's if you don't believe in it, then I just feel like that's a problem. when you're drafting later on, because you have to hit on one occasionally. Like occasionally, you have to hit on a later round pick. They don't even do that.
No, you would hope that they would hit on just like blind squirrel finding a nut once in a while. Like
once in a while,
you can't find one third round pick that can play in your team in the last 10 years. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
here's the other thing about this. He mentioned that the Bruins were going to try to help at the wing position. So here's my thing. I think that if he's available, if they're in the right spot in the draft, I think they're going to take Porter Martone.
They might.
I think they're going to take a winger who can score and develop.
They might. I mean, and where's he ranked as far as central scouting? Is he 4th or 5th? I think he might be in that range.
I think he's like in the 4 or 5 range. Yeah. This mock I'm looking at right now on Tankathon has him going 3rd to Nashville.
Okay. So, look, if he's there at wherever they are, I mean, I want the best players available. And if he is a big winger that can score, fine. Give me a big winger that can score. I need guys on the team that can actually play. So I don't care who it is. Honestly, at this point, I really don't. You could throw all those fucking names in a hat. And if you pick out a guy who's going to be a legitimate top 6 player for the next 10 years, I'm good. I'm good with it. I don't give a fuck what his name is. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't care. Just give me good players and we'll find a spot for him. I'm tired of the whole, well, it could be this guy or it could be that guy or this guy's moving up or this guy sucks or this guy's like, I don't give a shit about any of that anymore. I really don't.
Yeah.
Just give me a guy that can fucking play. I don't care who it is. I don't care where he's from. I don't care what league he played in. I don't care about any of that. Just give me a guy that can actually fucking play and that they don't ruin in the process.
Yeah, it's give me elite player. Like, give me the best player available.
That's what I want.
And because look at the best player available is probably going to be better than the shit guy you're rolling out there every night. Like, even if you don't technically think you need that position, well, Christ, if he's better than Morgan Geekie, then draft the guy. You know what I mean? If he's better than what you have there, if he's better than Mason Lohrei, then draft the guy. Like, just upgrade where you have. You know, get the best available guy. Best players win. So get the best player you can get right now because you're terrible. You know, no one other than 3 or 4 spots. No one's guaranteed a spot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you don't knock it out of the park in this offseason with free agency and whatever, if you can get marginally better in all spots, do it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, you don't have to pay through the nose to do it, but do it. Like, you're not good enough. You're clearly not good enough.
Clearly.
So get better in all the spots you can get, and don't fall in love, people. Don't fall in Bruins fans. Don't fall in love with the guys on the team right now because your team's not good enough. So there's going to be some guys shipped out, or there should be some guys shipped out. We'll see if Sweeney and Neely have the balls to do it. They did it at this trade deadline. Let's see if they can do it now. But they're going to be some decisions to make, and some of these guys shouldn't be on the team anymore.
Shouldn't be. At the very most, like, get another guy and try that other guy. Like, these guys you have aren't good enough. And he mentioned, when he talked about UFAs and RFAs, he mentioned Cole Koepke and Yoki Haru by name. So if they're bringing those guys back, you're basically running. Are you running the thing back? Like, you can't just keep bringing everybody back. You're going to bring Geekie back. You're going to bring Yoki Haru. You're going to be Koepke. You're going to have the same team.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, I think they're gonna make a big play for Marner, and he's gonna
say no way.
He's gonna say no way, but that would take up a huge chunk of their offseason money, along with re-signing fucking Geekie.
Right,
and he's gonna be looking for more now. He's probably in the you're gonna
probably spend $20 million on those 2 players.
Yeah, I would say so. So you're probably gonna have to go with some, Cole Koepke's of the world and that kind of thing to follow the bottom of the roster. If by some chance you can land Marner and you re-sign Geekie, you won't have a lot of money left over. So,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the draft pick you have.
And maybe the draft pick can step in and play. You hope so, but maybe not. So I think they are going to have to, and maybe finally they're deciding to do the thing the right way. And you go out and you sign Marner, who's obviously a first line player. Geekie is a first line player for you. Shouldn't probably be a first line player, but he has chemistry with Pastrnak.
Yep.
So, you build from the top down. Those are the guys you sign, and then you fill in with the Koepkes and the Durans and the bullshit and the suck bags at the bottom of the roster, who you've always said are a dime a fucking dozen. You can get them whenever you want.
You can get them at the deadline. You can get them
at the trade deadline as a fucking tryout. You can get them whenever you want.
Whenever.
So do that.
Look at the PTOs they brought in this year, like Wallstrom and Johnson. Like, you can get them whenever.
And you gave Wallstrom 43 games to figure it out. 43. You gave Fabian Lysell 5, and you gave John Farinato.
And you said nope. You gave Merkulov 6 or 8, whatever, and you're like, nope, you're not ready.
Yeah, you gave
Wallstrom skating around like an asshole.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson got 9 games. Wallstrom got 43. You don't think you would have been better off if you gave 43 games or 21 to Merkulov and 22 to Lysell, and you gave Tyler Johnson's 9 games to John Farinacci? You'd probably be better off.
Yeah, you're not worse.
At least you'd have a better idea of where those guys were in their development.
Right.
And like you said, you wouldn't be worse. Maybe you would be. Maybe you'd be, picking 5th instead of 7th.
You didn't make the playoffs anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah.
So you would have been better off trying out the young guys, like you've been saying all along, and trying to figure out what you have
further along the thing now. And now you didn't make it anyway, so now you fucked yourself.
And you still don't know about those guys. You still don't know if they can play for you at the NHL level.
You still don't know.
If you had given them enough time, you might have an idea. Oh, look, Merkulov can't play in the NHL. He's a 4A player. You don't know that, though, because you've never really given him an opportunity.
You didn't give him an opportunity. And then you gave guys 1 game like Farinacci and Brunet. I mean, Jesus Christ. Tyler, you know why they had Tyler Johnson and Wallstrom? Because he thought this roster was better. He thought this roster was a playoff roster.
He did.
And he wanted to put a veteran there instead of a rookie. When he completely misread it, this roster stinks. And it came true. So now you wasted all that time. And then Lysell actually played better the last 3 weeks or so. Well, maybe if you advance that 2 months, maybe he's playing really well by the end of the year and you really have something. You know what I mean? Yeah. To either go forward with or throw in a trade or something. Like, at least you have some value there. But no, I mean, they just kept this is what Sweeney does. Like, he tries everything he can to make the playoffs. Like, just got to make the playoffs, got to play older guys, got to make the playoffs, got to play veterans. Well, those veterans suck. They aren't any better than the kids you won't play. Like, actually, they have less upside than the kids you don't play. So.
Yeah, a lot less upside.
Yeah. Chirp 2, Don Sweeney wants a coach who can evolve a bit offensively. So maybe he noticed that the team absolutely sucked.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what that means. Evolve. See, here's the thing. Evolve, meaning he's not very good right now, but he's going to evolve into an offensive.
Yeah, I mean, evolve from what? Evolve from a team that can't score goals to a team that can? Like, it's talent, Donnie. It's talent. You never replaced the talent that left. So now you don't have any talent. So you need some more talent again. It's on you, buddy. It's not on the fucking coach. The coach can coach all he wants. Tell him where to go. Tell him what to do. But if you have John Beecher dribbling the puck into the fucking corner, you're not going to score goals. You need talent.
You need guys who can score goals, because not everybody can score goals.
Here's what I want to do. I want to evolve into a team that's actually talented. That's what I want to do. That's my evolution for the Bruins, to go from a team that sucks to a team that's talented. Let's evolve into that. Let's go.
And that's on the GM. That's on the coach. That's on the coach. You're not going to find a guy who can score like 1 goal every 2 months, and all of a sudden he can score 30 goals. Yeah. That's not how it works.
Yeah, let's evolve offensively.
Like you said, goal scorers don't grow on trees.
No, they don't. That's a God-given thing. That's knowing where to be. That's getting the shot off quickly.
Accurate shot, quick release, all that.
Quick release, all that shit. Like, some people have it and some people don't. John Beecher doesn't have it. Never had it. Never will. So he's useless to you. See you later, buddy. Yeah. There's just some guys that can. Morgan Geekie can do it. It appears
he can do it. Yeah.
If you could score 30 goals in the league, you can do it. I mean, maybe you have to play with really good players, but not everybody can
33 goals
players and do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it didn't happen with some other guys. So you know,
Well,
you
he hit on Geekie, and then let's see what if Geekie
Oh.
scores 13 goals next year. Then then
well,
you're like, if you take him off Pasternak's line, then Pastrnak assisted on like 22 of his goals or something.
he sure did.
Jesus Christ! Like,
Sure did.
wait, you could sit me in a chair in front, and I'd score 10. Sweeney, chirp 3. Sweeney thinks young players need to be better defensively. Is there too much emphasis on this defensive 200-foot nonsense?
Yes,
there is. He's trying to make everybody Patrice Bergeron. He's taking that bar, and he's like, everybody should be like this. That's not. You have a team. The good teams have different guys, different roles, different skill sets. Like, not everybody's a robot. You're not going to have these robotic defensive players. You're not going to be able to score.
It's unrealistic. It really is. Not every there's one Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah,
there's one.
There's one.
And you're not going to be able to fill those shoes with other guys. So and we've talked about the role thing before. Like, they don't have assigned roles. They should, but they don't. Like, who's the checking line that shuts down the other team's top line?
Who is it? Yeah, who do you roll out there? They don't know. They don't know.
Who, like, tell John Beecher, if he's going to be on the fucking team, which I hope he isn't, but tell him, look, you're a penalty killer and a banger, and you get the puck in deep and you use your speed, or you go wide and you take the puck to the net and put it on the net.
Put it on the net. And then go take your big body and race after it, try to bang it in.
Yeah. Go get it. Like, give guys, this is your job. Like, give guys a job to do. This is your job. This is what your role is on the team. Right. You're there to bang bodies, defend, block shots, and support the great players.
That was something that Brazeau was starting to do, like get in front of the net, bang in a goal here or there, get behind below the goal line, make a play. He was starting to do that, even though he sucks. He started to do it. Yeah. But that's the type of thing you want to do. Like, take the guy's skill set and put it where it needs to excel to the best of his ability.
Right. So I don't think the roles are very well defined. And I don't think
they have a clue how to fucking build a roster.
You're preaching the choir. Like, we've been saying this forever, and I don't
have a clue.
I really do. I think they're trying to make everybody the same, and that's definitely not the way to go.
Not the way to go.
Then you're easy to defend. If everybody does the same shit, you're easy to defend. Doesn't matter who comes over the boards for your team. If everybody does the same stuff all the time, you're predictable. You're not creative at all. You're not going to generate any offense. And look, they didn't generate any offense. They were terrible at getting shots on net. They couldn't fucking defend. And so, you might take some of the a strength away from a guy if you're trying to force him to be a defensive-minded guy when that's not his game.
No.
Look
at 11 and 13. They had Recchi and Yager and these guys. Like, these guys are professional Hall of Fame players that they're toward the end of the line, but they know how to play hockey and they know how to play winning hockey. They win tons of cups. Like, those are the guys he had out there. Nathan Horton, like, tremendously talented player. Michael Ryder's like on the third line. Yeah. Good. He's Morgan Geekie before Morgan Geekie was. Like, he scores all sorts of goals. 100%. Like, I'm watching those things on YouTube, those old games and the old playoff games, and Ryder's scoring all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, so those are the teams that Chiarelli had, and Chiarelli, for whatever, people get on Chiarelli and he had his faults and stuff, but Jesus, he put together a tremendous roster that won a cup and almost won a cup in 13 and faced a wagon in the Blackhawks. So, but and largely Sweeney rode the coattails of that core that Chiarelli put together and then tried to add pieces, and he did it in 19. He added pieces in 25, 23 there, and they had a good run there. Great. But he never really could turn the thing over. And that's what I think he has no clue to do, is turn the thing over to new personnel. Now I'm really interested to see what the hell he's going to do. He's going to throw a boatload of money at Marner, who's not going to take it. Then he's going to have his schmenz in his hand, take an Andrew Mangiapane or whatever, and that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to have. You're going to have his Mangiapane in his hand.
Yeah, maybe we'll have he'll have a restaurant in the North End or something. It'll be
maybe Mangiapane's. Yeah, a good French horn.
Yeah,
maybe. All right. Chirp 4. Cam says he will figure out soon whether to re-sign Don Sweeney. Interesting. I really think this is a year that Sweeney needs to get this thing back. They expect to go to the playoffs next year.
100% they do.
And if they don't, I think he's gone.
I think so too. I think Neely will fire him.
He'll be the scapegoat.
Producer Connor said he had the exchange between Kevin Paul DuPont and Neely as video, audio too. So why don't we hear that before?
That was about the draft.
Oh, it was about the draft. Okay.
Yeah, it was from earlier on. Do you still want to hear that?
Yeah, let's listen to it. I want to hear Neely's snarkiness.
Neither of them have really been up to expectations, in my opinion.
So can you just elaborate on that, Kevin?
The drafting?
Yeah.
Well,
where we've picked and who we picked and how it's turned out.
Well, where you've picked is not a lot of top 10 picks, but ultimately
not a lot of first-round picks.
But ultimately, are those draft picks? Have they developed? Have they come in? Have they come online the way you want them? If that's the case, fine. But
well, obviously, you want to hit on all your picks. There's no question. I mean, the work that the scouts do throughout the course of a year, they put in a lot of time and effort. They understand the players as best they can. We get the information from the scouts. Don ultimately ends up making the picks with information that he gets from the scouts throughout the year. But I think that our drafting and developing, the narrative there is a little off. And it's been going on for quite some time. Goes back to 15. And 15, it was really unfair to Don. By the time Don got hired, it was late May. Draft was late June. He wasn't even probably thinking about being a general manager of the Boston Bruins at the time. What Don did leading up to the draft to make the acquisitions that he did with those picks, to get the 3 picks, I thought was really good. Then Don was trying to move up in the draft. It didn't work out. What we should have done, looking back, we should have taken some time out and said, okay, guys, let's regroup here. We didn't move up. We got 3 picks in a row. I think it was very new for everybody. We stood backstage for those 3 picks. What we should have done was get back to our table and say, okay, let's sit down and say, are we okay with our list?
So here's the thing. Are we really saying that because of the positioning you were in the room that you did? What are you talking about, Cam? Like, you're in the back room. You should have been at the table. Like,
he was behind the curtain of the stage of the draft instead of being at the table in front of the curtain with the scouts and whatnot.
So you didn't know who you were picking?
He had like a Post-it note with a list of guys.
What are you talking about?
That sounds awful. It sounds awful.
You didn't go over it before you picked the guy? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what that means.
When you went up there for 13, did you not have the other 2 guys
ready to go?
Like, yeah, you didn't know who the other 2 guys were going to be when you went up there for 13? Like, you went up there and you knew you had 3 in a row. So why did you not have all 3 already set when you walked up there?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm mind blown by how colossally stupid.
It sounds even dumber. Like, he sounds even dumber.
It sounds worse.
Oh yeah, if you know what, I would almost say to him, you know what, we thought we saw something in Senyshyn. We thought we saw something where he could, he might be able to be a goal scorer and be the type of player that we were looking for there. We had some questions about the other guys. Obviously, those guys have become good players, but we had some questions about those guys. We really like Senyshyn. We saw him a lot. It just wasn't the right pick, but that's what we did at the time. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great. Like, okay, you fucked it up. That's right. But this whole thing of like not knowing, like it was just thrown at them. Are you serious? Like, this is just stupid.
The whole thing with the accountability piece really, really bugs the shit out of me. And they talked off the top at the press conference about higher accountability. Where is it?
And then they don't show any accountability to the whole conference.
They don't have any. During the entire, after you said it off the top, you don't have any during the whole thing. You're combative and confrontational about everything. Have some accountability. Yeah, we fucked up the 2015 draft. Yeah. Just say it like that, and then Kevin DuPont can't go back at you all the time.
No,
he already said we fucked it up. But
because they wait for you to admit it.
Say, give me an example of where we messed up. Like, you're just asking to get it shoved up your ass.
Yeah,
Like,
you're asking them to keep digging.
And so, because of that, Cam, I'm going to shove it up your ass now.
Yeah.
So 2017, they took fucking Vakanainen 18th overall. The next 2 picks were fucking Norris and Robert Thomas. Those guys, pretty good. Next 2.
Yeah, pretty good.
2019, they took John Beecher, my favorite fucking player in the history of the world, at 30th overall. The next center taken, Shane Pinto. Even
Pretty
with
good.
the gambling problems, better.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. 2021, Fabian Lysell, 21st. Jury's still out. But 2 spots later, Wyatt Johnson looks pretty good for fucking Dallas right now.
Pretty good.
2022, Poitras, 54th overall. Guess who was picked 8 picks later? The fucking Calder Trophy winning Rookie of the Year, Lane Hudson. Nice fucking job. I mean, fuck you, Cam. Seriously. Fuck you, dude. Shut your goddamn mouth and just take some accountability for the bullshit, awful drafting that you've had over the course of Sweeney's time here. Just own it. Just own it. Just own it.
All right, Chart 5, Don Sweeney. We are not going to play young and exciting players without having them earn their stripes. But we'll play Oliver Wahlstrom. We'll play Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, 43 games.
We'll play John Beecher 78 games.
Yeah.
And he won't do a damn thing for 78 games.
Got to earn his.
Did he earn his stripes?
Yeah. Did he earn his? Does Mason Lohrei, Masters champion, earned his stripes?
Yeah.
Minus
John
43.
Beecher earned his stripes.
Did he earn his stripes? Minus 43. Is that a? Do you get a stripe for every minus? Because that's a lot of fucking stripes.
He's a fucking zebra. Yeah. He's gonna fucking stripe.
I don't know. I don't get it. It goes back to defensive responsibility. Except I guess if you play fucking defense, then it doesn't matter if you're defensively.
Do you consider John Beecher a great defensive player? No. Do you consider Mason Lohrei as minus 43?
Yeah, I mean John Beecher, I think they do because he's penalty.
He was
killer.
like a minus 10 or something.
I know.
I mean, he's a shitty penalty killer too.
Yeah, but I'm saying they do. I think they do.
Well,
which again goes back to the whole like, can they evaluate talent? Can they evaluate players? I don't think they can. I really don't. Like, I don't think they look at guys and they're like, look at Lane Hudson, for example, and be like, oh, he's too small. That's not going to translate to the NHL. No. Or it will. It will translate.
You can play or you can't. Like Cole Caulfield's tiny, DeBrincat's tiny. Like either you can play or you cannot. Nick Suzuki's not a big guy. He's got
Logan Stankoven's small.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, just fucking get guys who are talented.
Yeah, Theo Fleury was small. Like guys,
mighty. I don't know.
Marty St. Louis was small. Like
small
players.
Small guy. Yeah. Chirp 6. Linus Ullmark struggles in the postseason. Again, do you feel better about picking Jeremy Swayman over him?
Not at 8.25. I don't.
No. How about Sweeney? How about Sweeney's comments about I thought Joonas Korpisalo should have played more, but he did not. Almost like a dig to the interim coach that you have that I thought you were fucking feeding the roster to, and now you're pretty much blaming the coaching indirectly for not putting him in when we know, everybody knows, that you call the shots when it comes to roster and lineup and everything.
Yeah,
you have a big hand in that.
Unless he's taking a shot at goalie Bob, which is mind-blowing to me because of the way that guy's coached goalies in this fucking town.
If I was goalie Bob, I'd say, you know what? See you later.
Yeah, it's me. That's what I mean. Like, that's the wrong guy. If you're taking a shot at him about how the goaltenders played or the split between games or whatever, like that's the wrong guy to take a shot at. He's the one guy on your coaching staff that I'd like to retain. Everyone else can go fuck off, but like that's the one guy you don't want to take a shot at. Like that's the one position that you've coached pretty well and developed pretty well over the years. So like cut the shit. Yeah. Like don't take a shot at him.
How many is it all? That's just like, dude.
Also, I want to throw in here because you're mentioning his comments. I'm looking at the transcript that the team put out, but I watched that entire thing. And he says in the transcript put out by the Bruins, quote, there were other times where our group felt that to get Sway back on track, to put him in situations and leverage that blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
He never said our group. He said Joe and Bob in that press conference.
Oh, and in the transcript, they said our group. Interesting. He changed it. They changed it.
Changed it because he knew that
it sounded like he was throwing him under the bus. Yeah.
Because there was 100% a Joe and Bob one in here, and that's what I went to come and look for so I could read it to you guys, and they scrubbed that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
He knew maybe Harvard man's not so smart after all.
No,
he misspoke there in the old presser, and screwed himself and his coaching staff.
Wow. Chirp 7, Charlie Jacobs says they will not roll back the ticket increase. How obtuse is this fucking guy?
I mean, after a 9% increase the year before, 9%.
9%. That's
the year before. And then they come back with a 4% increase after your team is just
off to watch. Like, not even like
just awful.
Yeah, you have one guy who's
worth like $5 billion.
Yeah,
Jacobs
they're worth 5.5.
$1.5 billion.
Yeah,
and
team's worth 2. They're worth 5.5.
And you're talking about the parking attendants and the ushers, and every dollar, half of every dollar goes back to the team, and like, where does the other half go? In your fucking pockets. So maybe change the split a little bit to 60 or 75 goes to the team, and 25 goes in your pockets, and leave the fucking tickets alone. You're already one of the highest priced tickets in the league.
Yeah. It's already so hard to go to the game.
And he couldn't come up with an answer. He had no idea what to say. Why? You didn't think someone was going to ask about that? Like, you're fucking raping the season ticket holders that are ridiculously loyal to you.
Yes.
And
they're just taking advantage of people who are loyal.
You really have a good answer for why you did it, other than we need more money. We're going to put some more money in our pocket.
They take advantage of people. That's what they do. I mean, the Bruins fans are stupidly loyal, and they'll pay their whole paycheck to go to the game. And that's what he does. He knows that. That.
Yeah.
So he's just going to keep bumping it up until people stop going. Go ahead, Connor.
So here's the full comment from Sweeney during that presser where he mentions Joe and Bob. He said, well, we're going to go with what we've always done in terms of who has the hot hand, who can win without losing sight of who needs to have reps and needs to have game opportunities. At a time this year, there were a couple opportunities that I discussed with Bob and Joe that we probably missed an opportunity to allow Korpi to have a little bit of that rope. In the thick of when he was playing well, that's sometimes the decision that, as Bob would say, the goalie excellent department, the goalie not as excellent department this year, and he's been on record saying that.
Well, interesting. I mean, the accountability piece, like you said, like, we're going to say we're going to hire accountability and then say nothing within the press conference that leads anybody to believe you're accountable. Just defensive. And I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can't be that stupid. But alas. Hey, now that you need more money, go ahead and bet with DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is Boston's hometown sportsbook. It's live right here in Massachusetts. Bet local on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home with DraftKings. To celebrate, all new customers will receive up to $150 in bonus bets when you sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook using code ITR. You can now bet local on money lines, spreads, props, and more with one of America's top-rated sportsbooks. That's DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Sign up with the code ITR to get up to $150 in bonus bets to use now that mobile sports betting is live in Massachusetts. That's code ITR only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
If your loved one is experiencing problems with gambling, call 800-327-5050 or visit helplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist free and confidentially 24/7. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Mass. Eligibility restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as free bets. Terms at DraftKings.com/MA.
All right, the beauty for this week, and we're going to give it to our man, Kevin Paul DuPont.
And I love you, eh? They're going to be loving you from dawn until dusk.
Tell you what, Kevin did a great job of actually trying to hold the team accountable, trying to ask the tough questions. It's not done enough.
Mhm.
And Kevin was right up there saying, hey, you don't draft well. So what gives?
Yeah, I love it.
It was great. I thought it was great. I
It
really
was
did.
great. Dupes.
Yeah.
A man of the people right there.
Yeah, he's a good follow, and he's he's a pro. I mean,
Yeah,
I was listening to a radio show up here in Maine, and Dan Shaughnessy made an appearance, and when they asked him about it, Dan Shaughnessy was like, I guess Kevin Paul DuPont ripped them in the globe, like killed them.
Excellent.
And Dan Shaughnessy was like, I wish I could write like that guy. It was really funny.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. And there needs to be
We
more.
get dupes on. We'll reach out.
I would love to have
Yeah.
Dupes on.
Yeah.
Because I do think he's the one guy. And look, he's been around forever, so he knows. Like, if I think the younger people kind of worry maybe about getting their credentials revoked or access taken away or whatever. He's been around long enough to be like, if you take my credentials away, I'm just gonna crucify you in the paper,
kill you. Yeah,
just over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
He would probably pay himself to go to the games just to
would.
be able to watch and then crucify the team.
Sure,
afterwards.
he'd kill the team.
Yeah.
He would.
Oh,
Do you think he ended up in Neely's office after that press conference?
probably.
I don't know what happened when he
Probably.
called someone into the office. I don't know, but he killed him in the paper. Like whatever that talk was, if it was him, he still killed him in the paper the next day. So, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's holding them accountable, and I think he's giving the fans what they want, which is some answers to why things have gone kind of awry. And there needs to be more of that. Like we do it here, but we're nobodies.
Yeah, well,
So, we're more from a fan's perspective, but he's doing it the right way because he faces them. We can't face them. We'd love to. We'd love
God's work
and be able to face them and ask tough questions. But
sure,
I think with the way that we've, especially me, have handled ourselves, that probably will never happen. People,
because if they can't take it from Kevin Paul DuPont, they're not going to take it from Maddie.
They're certainly not going to take it from us. That is a point well made there, Matthew. So let's move on to the Bender, and it is TNT.
I'm a Bender.
I swear to God. Can you send the crew to the game?
Yeah,
like
I just
what are we doing since COVID? We're still doing this thing. Like it just sounds like hell. It just sounds it's just a far worse broadcast.
It is.
Get your people to the game.
Yeah, I mean, you knew that teams were in Canada. I would hope when you signed up for the rights to the fucking broadcasts.
Yeah, maybe.
You would think that you would know that there were teams in Canada and Western Canada.
Every game isn't in Atlanta? What happened?
Yeah, it's far away from Atlanta. Is this why we're doing the Atlanta for the third time? Is this why this is getting talked about? Because TNT is down there?
100%.
Can we figure out that no one in Atlanta gives a flying fuck about whether there's a hockey team?
Flames, Atlanta Thrashers, and now Atlanta fucking whatever.
They don't even care about the Braves. You couldn't even go to a Braves game when they were winning the division 9 or 10 years in a row. The thing wasn't a sellout then.
The playoffs, yeah.
People didn't care. They don't care in Atlanta. Unless you're the University of Georgia or Georgia Tech or the Falcons, no one gives a shit.
They want football. That's it.
Yeah.
Not hockey.
No.
Jesus. That's not good at all.
So stop it with Atlanta and go to the damn games. Like, go to the damn games. And I got a bone to pick with ESPN here a little bit too. Look, TNT's in studio broadcast is decent. They have some personality. ESPN, they have Peeke Subban, who says the same shit no matter what team is playing. The same exact stuff over and over again. And then Mark Messier might be the driest of dry hosts I've ever seen on broadcast.
It really is bad. It really is.
Because he has a name doesn't mean he's going to be good on television.
Messier and Messier are both a snooze fest. It's just like
just because he has a name doesn't mean he's going to be good on television. And then the ESPN thing, like, why can we not hear the crowd?
I know.
Not hear the crowd. It's playoff hockey. It's one of the most exciting things
That should be
happening in sports. You should
100%.
be able to hear the crowd. The crowd should occasionally, I know it's blasphemy, but occasionally it should drown out the announcers.
It
When
should.
there was a big play, a big
Yes.
hit, a big goal, the announcers should struggle to be heard.
Right.
That's the way that the crowd noise should
That puts you
be
there.
on television.
It puts you there. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than playoff hockey when the horn for the goal is going off and the camera is shaking as you hear the building.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it. I know
bananas.
it's fantastic.
Like Jack Edwards, one of the best calls ever. The building is vibrating
Right.
in one of the playoff games. I believe it was
Right.
against Toronto. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you want. Like,
Yeah.
Nesson, you know, has their faults, but man, they can produce a fucking hockey broadcast.
They can.
They know what they're doing with that piece. The streaming and the rest
and
of
the spottiness and all that.
everything
the
else
signal. Yeah.
sucks.
Sucks.
But
Yeah.
they can produce they used to be able to produce a hockey broadcast.
Yeah.
So you know, can we hear the crowd, please?
I would love it. I would love it.
And the TNT thing, like, you're not even in the arena, so you know, we're definitely not going to hear the crowd in that thing.
No.
So, like, can we bring the excitement back to the game a little bit?
I know it's really missing a huge opportunity because that's the most exciting playoffs ever is NHL hockey. All right, please head over to the merch shop, grab some Bruins Benders merch. There's some rocks glasses there, all sorts of merchandise. Help support the show. 20% off with code Sorry John at the shop, and get on the Bruins Benders off air through ITR Plus. This QR code right here, and also on the shop section of InsideTheRink.com. You can subscribe, just $5 a month, and see some great off-air content. Until next episode, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.